Fuck Phat and Spicy.
Wow, man. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I mean, I've been all right, man. I can't lie. Well, I am. I tell you what, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not. I've been okay. Aside from like my school and stuff, man. I've been kind of going through the fucking ruts, man, with fucking school, dude, and finding that, keeping that fucking motivation that I had in the beginning. I've found myself in a place where, dude, I'm just having second thoughts if I even want to fucking do it. You know what I'm saying? Like it bums me the fuck out because I do want to do something. I just don't know if the career that I'm going down right now, which is human resources, is going to be the right one move or the right move for me. You know what I'm saying? And I'll tell you why. So I did this test, this little quiz online, and I was trying to figure out with my particular traits and my interests, what would be good for me. Because I never went to like these job fairs or anything like that. I didn't have like these options growing up. Um, once I graduated, it was like my parents was like straight to work, help pay bills. So I didn't really know what all was out there. So I did a little fucking quiz online using AI, and I did some quizzes on websites and shit, and it was just like human resource and some other stuff. And I was like, well, maybe human resource, that looks seems pretty chill. So that's why I started putting all my effort and stuff into it. Now, as it gets more into it, dude, I just don't feel that drive that I had, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm to be honest, dude, I did my first two semesters. I made A's. Now my third one, dude, I'm failing, and it's
Because
not
you don't want to.
because
Are you not doing the work?
I'm just not doing the work. I don't want to do it. I'm not fucking motivated to fucking do it no more, dude. You know what I'm saying? And it sucks because I don't want my kids to hear that. You know what I'm saying? I don't want them to know that. But I don't want to. I don't know if I can just keep investing time into something that I'm not motivated to do.
You love doing this, right?
Yeah,
How many
this.
hours a week do you put into doing homework? Like that's kind of mandatory.
Oh man, honestly, if I sat there and focused and did my fun, just punched out my fucking work, dude, I could get my work done for the week in probably like 5 6 hours.
Imagine committing that 5 to 6 hours to working on what we're doing at PNS Studios,
Yeah.
and how much further along we'd be if that was committed time. Like if we just, I'm guilty of it too because now I'm a house dad. I'm here all day and I've got chores and shit. Come on, I couldn't make some time to sit down and do some PNS work. Of course I could. And it's not that I don't take it seriously. It's that, my family's the priority and I need to, I'll tell you what you and I are both missing is we're missing something that's a solid drive for us, and I think we've been hemming and hawing around this for a year and a half, ever since we stopped doing the GTA podcast, the original Phat and Spicy Show. What's going on, Beth?
Yeah.
We just didn't know what we wanted to do with Phat and Spicy. And we went through all kinds of fucking, we're going to do it like this. No, we're going to talk about politics this time. Or no, this all show is going to be all about conspiracy theories. We never landed on a target, Ben. So what I think we need to do, and this is just the facts, dude. And I wish I would have been able to talk to you about this last week because it's been brewing on me for like a month and a half, but we didn't do a show last week. My kid had a play and it was amazing. What I think we need to do is I think we need to reformulate like from the ground up, because I don't want to do a show without you. You're my best friend. You live in fucking Georgia. I live in California. We've never shaken each other's hands. If you guys that are watching don't know, but we met playing a stupid video game, and this is both of a passion of ours. The problem is that we put so many priorities in front of it because we don't know where this is going to go. I think if we stop putting priorities in front of this and make this the priority, this needs to be our job. Like now, no. I don't mean you got to quit your job.
Well, yeah,
but the time you're putting into college could be put into this. And imagine where we could be in a year if that time was solidly spent, you and me online together, working the shit out, conjuring up plans, conjuring up what the next week's episode is going to be, doing the research together. The show would be amazing. That's what we come into this because we want to be like, and I thought it was a great idea, and it still is a good idea. Just look, let's come in like guys who haven't seen each other in a week, and let's talk about our fucking lives and how we feel. Problem is that we both want to paint over it with flowers and candy instead of really talking about how we feel. And I think we're both getting depressed by that. Like, today's episode, guys, I'm going to give we've never really talked like this. And I'm just going to say it. Like, I'm not holding back. I hold back a lot of fucking things I want to talk about on the show because I don't want to offend the audience. Well, I'm not doing myself a favor. I'm not doing the audience a favor, and I'm not doing Jacob a favor, and vice versa. He wants to hold back because we don't want to be controversial or this. Well, it's not about being controversial, but we're not speaking our heart. I think it's time we just fucking do it, dude. Just fuck it and just do it. So, guys, like I said, you can like it or you can hate it today, but this is where it's at. So, look, I don't want to get all hung up on this. We guys are over the next couple of weeks and months, you'll see where we're going with this. We've talked about it a little bit, so give us some time to formulate. But right now, it is still the Phat and Spicy Show. He's fat, I'm spicy. I love you, dude. Did you watch the Super Bowl?
I did. I didn't actually get to watch the game itself. I watched bits and pieces of it, dude. And let me touch back with you. So let's lay it all on the line today, dude, man. You know what I'm saying? And if we're gonna do that, I think we owe it to the audience to give them that old let's hear it before we start spilling our fucking beans.
Okay, if we're gonna be like that, then I guess we should just do it, right? The views expressed on the Phat and Spicy Show do not represent PNS Studios, which is the project that Jake and I started together. Phat and Spicy, PNS, Phat and Spicy. But of course, if you say it fast, it sounds fun too,
That's a little joke for everybody. Right? Oh, I think your audio jumped out. I don't think we can hear you, man. Or is it me? Am I the one that's like lacking here? I don't know. I think it might be. I don't know. I don't think we can hear you, Spicy. I think he's having issues with his microphone. Yeah. I was about to say, I think I actually heard the cord pop when he pulled it. He gets a little excited. He starts jumping around and pops the cord out. So that actually happens. But I think he's back now.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, there we go. A little delay there, but we're here.
Is that any better?
You got a little delay.
All right, keep going. I'll talk to you in a minute.
All right, but yeah, guys, like Spicy was saying, there are times, and I've always been the one that kind of pushed the PR thing, we kind of make sure that we are appeasing to both sides of the fence. We don't want to be too much, too little, too overbearing. And I think that's what kind of held us back, is trying to please everybody. And it's kind of one of those things that I think a lot of us forget to do, is that we'll never be able to please everybody. Yeah, I can hear you. And I think that's what more or less of what we're going forward now. And but yeah, like I said, fortunately I was working, dude. I didn't really get to catch too much of the Super Bowl. I did catch like bits and pieces. I didn't even get to see who won. I'm assuming that the Patriots lost, because the last time I checked the score, yeah, it was.
Sorry, you can't see me with my camera. I'm flapping my Seahawk arms, baby.
Angels in the outfield.
No,
but
you fucking idiot.
But yeah, man. Like I said, I did get to catch the halftime show though.
You did? Okay, yeah. You saw it.
Yeah.
What do you think?
What I think? Oh, honestly, like I said, it was an artist. He was what I saw. What I saw personally was a Puerto Rican artist representing his culture, representing his roots. You know what I'm saying? Being true to himself, despite the controversy and everything like that. He gave shout outs to other South American countries. He gave shout outs to America, to Canada. He did the whole thing. God bless everybody. He sang about unification. I think, like I said, I think he did his thing. I think in the end of it all, I think he had a message, and he did the message. He did the same thing that Kendrick Lamar did. You know what I'm saying? They told Kendrick, if you mention Drake's name, they're gonna fine you and they're gonna do this. And then they fined him, and he did the same thing. He told Drake, and everybody applauded it and loved him for that.
Yeah, that was amazing.
And Bad Bunny did the same shit, but now everybody's got a problem with it. Like,
why do you have a problem with it? Is it because, look, okay, would it have been cool for me to have understood what he was saying? Sure. But you couldn't enjoy the spectacle and like him being on top of a telephone pole like they were during the floodings, like he was representing every little bit of where he lives. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Every section of it, from even the ices and like the kids sleeping on the chairs. Dude, I used to go in the tiendas, the little Mexican stores up in Portland, because they made the chicharrones like fresh, dude. And the what was the rice drink? The
Horchata.
horchatas, dude. I go up there and then they had a barbershop next door. It was the same chicks that made the fucking chicharrones.
Yeah.
And they weren't from Puerto Rico, but it was that feel. And the kids were in the back on the chairs like that kid was asleep. I shit you not, 3 chairs wide,
Dude.
some kids snoring it up. And I was like, I know that. I've seen that. Like that's culture.
That's
so,
what it was. It's culture.
So then why the hate? I think they're a bunch of fucking racists. I just don't think they like Mexican or Hispanic people, and they want to throw them in cars and they want to kidnap them and hurt them, and they don't want them on the Super Bowl because it's America's show. It's Budweiser and trucks.
So the whole thing with that, man, like I said, I like Kid Rock. I've been a fan of Kid Rock ever since I saw him in Joe Dirt.
I do too, dude.
You know what I'm saying?
I love his music.
And I don't think that Kid Rock is racist.
No, I don't think so. Dude,
I don't think he's
his drummer
racist. You know what I'm saying?
His drummer's a black chick. I wish I could remember her name right now, dude. She's a bad bitch, and he loves that chick. Like, you know, he's not a racist, not at all.
No.
But you put your bandwagon on with people, you know.
Yeah.
You hit your horse to a wagon.
Yeah, and I think that's what it is. I think that's majority of what it is. Like I said it, and somebody had put up there, you know, on Facebook, and one of my from my friends on Facebook, and they put it up there, and they were like, "Oh, I guess I need to be careful now, you know, with everything that's going on, me liking Trump, you know, and let me see if I can actually pull it up, dude, and I'll read it. I won't actually put it on the screen, but I'll read it."
How do you feel about the political bandwagons? Like for me, like I drink Rolling Rock beer. They're not a sponsor. God forbid we ever have a fucking sponsor. I like the beer because it's light and it's got like 4.4%. It's a little bit less alcohol, so I can drink 1 or 2 more and not feel like a fucking lush, right?
Yeah.
If all of a sudden Kid Rock came on stage with a Rolling Rock, would that make me stop drinking that beer?
Dude, look at how many people protested against Bud Light, Budweiser when they did the gay pride thing. They're still drinking Bud Light, Budweiser, you know. But I think it's just human nature to get riled up, because everybody. And I'll tell you what it is. And this is what I believe it is. It's that everybody is frustrated. Everybody is sick and tired of having to get up every day. You're all living fucking paycheck to paycheck. You're struggling for your fucking coins, man. You know what I'm saying? And what does the man want from you? More. He wants more. He doesn't want you to work less. He wants more. You're getting less time with your family. Your marriages and fucking relationships are falling apart. Your kids don't want to listen to you. You know what I'm saying?
And then they arrest you on your way to your job because you look like you.
And then the world's just a shit. And you're pent up and you're frustrated and you don't know where to direct your anger at. You don't know what to do with all of your emotion. The same way that, and this is a majority of people, they can't regulate their feelings. It happens, you know. And so what you do? You leap at the first, the first fucking rabbit you see, and you fucking take all your frustration out on it. And that's what happens, dude. That's what happens with these spurts of anger. You know what I'm saying? And I think what it is the American people and just people in general are sick and tired of America. I don't think they're tired of the people itself, man. You can't sit here and tell me that you're against, you don't like Mexicans, and then you're fucking every Sunday you're at the fucking Mexican buffet. You know?
Dude, we live in a very Republican state. And I'll tell you what, tonight we're going to go to a Mexican restaurant because my wife wants to go there. They have a great taco salad. And I promise you that 90% of the people there voted for fucking Trump. But they're the first ones that if ICE comes in, they're like, yep, they're in the back. It's like, why? What's with the double standard? Why do you have to be like that? Why can't we enjoy? Why did Jon Stewart said this, dude? I was watching his show the other night. I was like, why does the Super Bowl have to be the great American unifier? Why couldn't it be the president? The person that's watching over the country, that's watching over the fucking people.
Because he's too busy dividing people.
But why is he dividing people? What does the divisivity is that? I don't know what the fucking word is, but what does that divisiveness actually get? So we're fighting with each other over stupid shit that we see on TV versus what's actually going on in the White House. Is that what it is? They're hiding the Epstein shit?
I think it's always going to be.
Is Epstein a cloud cover for something else?
What's the biggest thing they always say, dude? You know what I'm saying? You know, make a big spectacle with the right hand so they can't see what the left hand's doing. You know, and it's
Yeah.
always going to be this. It's always going to be that. And I think everybody, every person out there, the majority knows for a fact. If I was to ask them, can you count on your government? Do you trust your government? Does your government have the best interest for you in mind? A lot of people wouldn't know how to answer that.
I'll tell you right now, dude,
And
you're right.
A lot of people
You're
would
right.
lie about
Most
it.
people don't know how to answer it, and they would lie about it.
You know, because we want to believe. We want to believe in America, the home of the brave, the land of the free. You know what I'm saying? This, and like I said, we want to believe that America is the strongest country out there. You know what I'm saying? Because that is just what's been instilled in us since we were little. You know, since we sat there and I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. You know, my country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty. You know, that is what's been instilled in us, you know, pride to be here since we were little. And of course, nobody it's like if somebody was to sit there and say, oh, your mom's a crackhead. And you know damn well she is, but you're not going to sit there and admit it. You're going to you're going to fight that person. But where and when does this become toxic? You know what I'm saying? We're in a toxic relationship with our love for America. We're too stubborn to sit there and say, you know what? You're right. We need to do something better. You know what I'm saying? We need more. We need more out of America. We're too fucking stubborn. We're too busy up our own fucking asses, dude, to sit there and say, hey, I shouldn't have to settle for this. I shouldn't have to be where we're working two jobs and one of us is thinking about getting a second job. You know what I'm saying? One of, you know, both of us are working. The kids, there's nobody home to take care of the kids because we're always fucking working.
Yeah.
The kids need fucking counseling. They need therapy because they don't have parents to help them regulate their emotions. And what do we say? Oh, we got to be tough, you know, blah, blah, blah. That's how I was raised. I turned out fine. No, the fuck you didn't. Look at you.
No, I'm broken. I was raised tough.
Look at you.
I'm
Look
drinking.
at yourself
I drink 4
right
beers
now.
on this show already.
You're
I'm
drinking, you know what I'm saying? You're smoking 10 packs a day. You know what I'm saying? You come home, you're arguing with your wife for no fucking reason. Yeah. You're cheating on your spouse. You're fucked up.
You're fucked up.
And you need to admit it, America. That's the thing.
I'm a Democrat, right? I like being a Democrat. I like thinking that maybe we're giving something back to the people more than like the rich white guys. Just look at the sides, dude. I mean, I'm not claiming anything you don't know. You look at a picture of Congress. The Democrats got some people of color. They got some women in there that are colored. You know, Muslims even. That who would have thought that 60 years ago in American politics, right? But you look at the whites, the Republican side. It's all white guys and white chicks that all have the same colored hair and the same facelifts and the same high cheekbones and the same rich older husbands. Like, can't you see the parallelity? But then I look at the Democrat side, and there are a lot of younger people like AOC, right? She's great. She stands for a lot of good shit. Shut up. It's you get into Congress and you don't be like, okay, so here's my question for you. Here's how I feel. She's like, you and me got to have a talk right now about every fucking thing you did wrong. And I'm like, dude, chill out. You already put your fucking witness on edge because you just come at them. I see these guys on TikTok, dude. I was going to talk about this on Answer in the Morning, but let's just talk about it now. Same shit. I see these guys reporting the news, right? And the guy comes on and here's what he should have said. Today in a Senate hearing, this person was deposed by this person, and it was a heated exchange. But in the end, no questions were really answered. No, what's the headline? Pam Body crashes out and storms out of the room, which never happened. And then you listen to the guy who's announcing it today in fucking Congress, AOC, laid it down, and Pam Body had no recourse. Like, why are you screaming the fucking news? We all just want to yell. There's no talking. There's no you and me doing this anymore. You know, I don't know how you feel about. Maybe you like Trump, maybe you don't. I fucking hate the guy. You want to talk about? Let's put it on the table. I don't think he's a good president. I think he's a good television star. I think he was like Paris Hilton, a self-made celebrity, right? Remember when they paid her to go to fucking parties to be her?
Yeah.
You remember that? And Donald Trump was kind of the same thing. He was the guy that you saw on Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. Here's Donald Trump's condo, and it's all gold toilets and cool. It's fun to watch on a Saturday afternoon when you're at your babysitter's house. And nobody cared. But when you start running the country and you have no real political background, just like half the people, dude, Kash Patel, what business? You've never served in the FBI. You've never. Why are you running the FBI? Why are half these people there? Now, if they were Democrats and they were unqualified, would I be feeling the same way? I don't know, dude. Sometimes I feel like I jump on that Democratic bandwagon. And it's, dude, you know what I mean? It's like,
what it is the
how do you stay away from it?
Is you stop putting yourself in a side. You stop putting yourself on the side of Republican, on the side of Democrat, and you start putting yourself on the side of what's best for America, what's best for my kids, what's best for their future, what's best for me. You know what I'm saying? Because both sides are toxic. You want to admit it? That's the truth. You know what I'm saying? Both sides are toxic. It's you. Everybody out there knows it, and they'll sit there and they'll lie or they'll admit it, and it's gonna be one answer: pick your poison. It's not pick your solution. It's pick your poison. Both sides toxic. Because instead, and it reminds me of the fucking people that I work with, dude. And it reminds me of the reason that I don't get into management where I work at, dude. And I look at it and it's like, oh, why? I said, because of division. I said somewhere along these guys decided it was a game. They said, oh, we're gonna go against each other with numbers. You know what I'm saying? And now you got all these people, you got all these leaders going against each other. Oh, we got best numbers here. We got the best numbers here. You know, beat that, beat that, beat that. And along the way, you forgot that this whole facility is one fucking machine. It's like a fucking clock. And guess what happens if those fucking cogs inside that clock, those gears, they start working against each other? You think that clock's gonna run any fucking better?
No.
You think time is gonna be, it's gonna be on time? It's gonna be precise because one gear wants to go faster than the other ones?
Well, then what makes that person want to do that?
It's because I think as humans, dude, we have that fucking natural born pride, that fucking ego that's in our fucking head that says we have to stand above the rest. And then we're all guilty of it at some point. At some point you sat there and you said, oh, I drive a better car than that guy. Or you sat there and you rolled up and you said, oh, look at my shoes. That guy's dirty shoes as hell. Or you sat there and you said, oh, Lucy's, her casserole, it's not better than mine. At some point, you put yourself above somebody else because you thought you were better. And that's human nature.
I've been there.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what we are. We are, as humans, fault, and we are flawed because of our egos. But let me go back and touch back to that Facebook post I was saying, dude.
Oh, so yeah, basically yeah. Says, sorry, we got cut off.
It said, so what I'm coming to understand is that I'm racist. If I watch the country halftime show, I'm also racist if I like Trump. I'm also racist if I agree that people who came here illegally should be removed and sent back to where they come from. Oh, and I'm also racist if I choose a political party other than Democrat. What a time to be alive. I'm scared to breathe too heavy. I might get mobbed by anti-racist, fascists. I'm assuming what that last post meant. So then my response was this. I said, where I draw the line is this. The racism didn't come from people enjoying a country halftime show. It came in when a separate halftime show was framed as a protest, specifically because an American-born Latino artist was celebrated, and some people decided his music wasn't American enough.
Right.
Simply because it's in Spanish. I said, if you wanted your own show, cool. I'd have tuned in myself. Frankly, again, I like Kid Rock's rendition of Cody's song. You know what I'm saying? I like it. I went back and listened to his version. I added it to my playlist. Again, it's Till You Can't. Cody Johnson, Kid Rock went back and added his own verse at the end. Beautiful. Beautiful.
American badass. I'm on board. Put a finger in the air. Let me know you're there. You say, hey, yeah, fuck yeah, dude.
And I said, if you wanted your own show, cool. I'd have tuned in myself if it was just another option. But turning it into a direct response meant to belittle another American, or throw shade at his culture and language, that's not inclusion, that's division. And dressing it up as progress doesn't change what it is.
What other option could you have had that wouldn't have seemed racist? Because I think at any point that you're like, we're not watching this, we're doing something else on Super Bowl Sunday, aside from the Puppy Bowl. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you got to understand, at the end of the day, people don't understand that the Super Bowl is media. You know, it's entertainment. It's entertainment. You know, it's propaganda. That's why some of the best commercials, everybody pours their money into those Super Bowl commercials, right? Like everybody has to have the best Super Bowl commercial because why? Because it's propaganda. They know how many people tune in. Over 100 million people, you know, are watching live. But what it is that they understand this, and their numbers, they are based off of numbers. It's a numbers game. So of course they're going to want to drop controversy. Of course they're going to want to have, you know, some kind of controversy going around this Super Bowl. Because why? Because that brings the people in, and they are damn well good at their job, and that job is advertising. That job is, you know, curating the masses, bringing people in by the boatload, and that's exactly what they do. And they're good at their job. You know what I'm saying? It's TMZ for sports. And like I said, that's what people fail to realize. It's all, they don't care about you. They don't care about what you like. They don't care about anything else other than numbers and ratings. You know? And I think Spicy having some technical difficulties. But yeah, guys, like I said, that's just my personal opinion on the matter. Is again, I feel that they are doing this on purpose. I feel that the Epstein files were released prior to the Super Bowl on purpose. And if you don't believe me, pay attention to your timeline. Look how many of your friends actually talked about the Epstein files. Look at how many people are still talking about it versus what? Versus Kid Rock, versus Bad Bunny, versus you brown versus white versus black, you know, versus Ice. That's what's in the news now. That's what people are focusing on. The wrong thing. You know, instead of demanding justice for all the innocent children that are hurting, that are continuing to hurt, you know, that are being hurt by the people that you sat there and you watched their movies, you watched their shows, you listened to their music. You know, instead of demanding justice, these people are still sitting right where they're at. Nothing's going on. You know, what can you do? What can we do? Well, you're doing a lot simply by typing. You're doing a lot for the wrong reasons. Oh, people sit there and say, well, I can't afford to go pro. You don't have to protest. You're protesting already on Facebook. You know, with that post you made, those likes that you give, those views that you are giving out, that's protest. You know, you don't have to leave the comfort of your home to protest against something that is wrong.
Okay. By the way, I'm back. Yes, I heard what you were saying while I'm fixing this fucking mic problem. I think I got it now. But here's the deal. I watched the entire Pam Bondi hearing yesterday, right? They dragged her in front of the Congress and they grilled this chick hard. And she was very combative back, which means nothing got done. Like, okay, so they yell at her for fucking 5.5 hours almost, right? And she yells back at them, and it's all this great political theater, dude. It looks so cool. That's why I watched it. I'm like, this is fucking amazing. One of the fucking Democratic congresswomen got up and walked out. She's like, you ain't going to answer my fucking questions. I'm out of here. It meant nothing, dude. Nothing will come of those people arguing on TV. It was all for naught. So what the fuck does it matter? Why do we have a Supreme Court? Why do we have a judicial system versus an executive branch of the government or the legislative? Now Trump's attacking the legislative. He's like, fucking, I want the what's his name? Oh my God. The head of the National Bank or whatever it is out of there because he gave me a bad number. I didn't want that number, so I want him fired. I want him investigated. Why? Nobody's going to be held accountable. We're going to have a new fucking president in 2028. So do we all just shut up and take it for 3 fucking years and wait for the new guy to come in and fix everything? And what if he don't? So what do we do? I mean, I'm not calling for any kind of violence. I never would, right? ever. I don't even like violence. I don't have a gun. I got 2 boys. I'll send them to beat you up. Do we need a fucking turning point in this America? Because it feels like we're in an American Cold War right now. The right versus the left. It's like there's no shots fired. A few, some people are getting killed in the streets. Political assassinations and political people in this country are getting hit. Politicians are getting attacked on both sides. It fucking sucks. So do you think there's a civil war for America on the horizon, or do you think that this thing will just write itself out? Because that's kind of what they thought in Rome, right? Oh, it's all going to take care of itself. So what do you think is the next step for America? Because really, dude, you know how I said I wouldn't pull no punches, I'll always speak my truth? I think at some point we're going to be fighting each other.
I didn't hear you, dude. My fucking audio went out.
You can't hear me?
I can hear you now. I couldn't hear you a little while ago. My audio went out.
You didn't hear any of that?
No. Yeah, dude, my audio just went like, it went out. I was like, what the hell?
Was it me? Was it my end?
No, it was me. It was me.
All right, so all right.
But I get what you're saying.
Do you think that we're on the brink of an American Civil War, right versus left, where there's actual violence and not this Cold War we live in?
So let me just say what I think real quick. I think the whole world is a stage, right? I think that the Republican and the Democrat Party are one. I don't think there is division as people think there is. I think the division is from us. I think we create the division for ourselves. I'm not going to yell this out. Normally I would. I'm not going to yell it out. I'm just going to be simple and clear so that people can understand. The division comes from ourselves. We create our own division. The division is not from Democrats. It's not from Republicans. It's not from socialists, whatever you want to call it. It's you. You create the division that is in your neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? You are the deciding factor on if there's going to be unification or division, not the government, you. And what people need to understand is I think that these people understand that, so they'll say, okay, well, let's put on a good show. That the people aren't going to be happy if we just go in there and nobody agrees with anything. We just can't say we're not agreeing. We have to give them a spectacle. We got to make it look like we care. So what do? You get mad. You get in there, you get mad. You go at each other's throat, and one of you walks out. Guess what happens for the rest of that day? Did anything get solved?
No, you just both pissed at each other.
Did anything get solved? Did anything get fixed? No, but what? The people are happy because why? Oh, look what she stood up for everybody. She didn't do shit. No. She didn't do shit. And it's a game. It's a ruse. And everybody falls for it. I've been guilty of falling for it numerous times where you think that somebody's good, think they care about you. No. All these people do is care about their position, their salary, their money, their own personal investments.
Is it wrong that I wish that there were subtitles? Because I did want to understand what he was saying. I wouldn't have minded it subtitled just so I could understand it, because I wanted to feel the.
And I get that, and I understand that, because that, again, but at the same time, there's some country songs that I don't understand.
The guy on the fucking.
You know what I'm saying? There's some
All American. I want to drink my beer, mow my lawn, and feed my dog.
There's some music that I don't understand, but what do I do? Like, there's some Jamaican songs that I like. There's opera music that I listen to that I enjoy hearing.
You're right.
I don't understand, right. But what do? I go and I put the time in and I research the lyrics because I want to know what I'm listening to. If you can take the time to do that.
But I can't do that when it's live on TV.
You're right. But what you can do is enjoy it for what it is.
To watch the halftime show?
Enjoy it for what it is. When you go to a Mexican restaurant, when you go to a Jamaican restaurant, you don't say, hey, what's this stuff right here in English? You know what I'm saying? Explain to me what pupusas are, and tell me what, where do these, what is carnitas, what is pastor, what.
I've done that.
You know what I'm saying?
You want to know.
But what do you do before? Most of the time you come home, you're like, well, what was in that? I want to see how I can make that.
That's true. But I'm a cook.
And you look up the recipe.
A lot of people don't.
Well, if they want to make it again, they will. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying is, what I'm going to do is that people will do the research if they really cared. If you really cared about it, you would do the research. You know what I'm saying? And what I get at with this is that people don't do research, and I'll tell you why. Because it's a lot easier to throw an opinion out there than it is to fact check yourself. Because then you have to admit you're wrong. And I've seen this numerous times on Facebook, dude. I'll go on there and I'll look at a post, dude. Have you ever done this? You go on Facebook and you look at a post and you look at an article. You read the article name. And just off of that, you go down in the comments and people are just da 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 da, and then you read the article and you see how misleading the title is, and you see how wrong people are, and it dawns on you that people would rather first give their opinion than before do the research.
But you didn't answer the question.
What was the
question? Am I racist because I wanted subtitles so I could understand what he was saying?
No, you're not racist, dude. How does that make you racist?
I don't know, because a lot of people, I mean, if they wanted to fix it, couldn't they have done that? And like eliminated a lot of this backlash. I don't know what he's saying. Well, here's the fucking subtitles, dude.
If I understand, if it was pre-recorded, maybe you could do. I don't know how fast the delay in live audio.
It's AI now, dude. They're fucking doing it to us right now as we speak.
Yeah, I mean, if I could add audio, subtitles here, that'd be nice. But could they have done it? Yes. Should they have done it? That's up for debate. Again. When like I said, when a country artist goes up there and sings and you can't understand because of the accent, or a black guy goes up there and he's rapping too fast, there's no subtitles. You know what I'm saying? Why are we asking for it now?
You're right. I mean, but if it's so controversial and so powerful, let's all understand what he says, understand the message he's delivering. Now, okay. Obviously, I'm kind of playing devil's advocate. But then I'm kind of not, because I wanted to know what he was saying.
And you still can.
And it seems so powerful. But yeah, I wanted to know it in a minute, because you're watching this whole thing. By the way, those people in the plants were amazing.
Okay, so this is where the thing goes. This is where it kicks in, right? This is where it all kicks into play. If you feel so strongly about it, then go back and do the research. Don't come up here and complain about there not being any inclusivity, there not being English subtitles, if that's all you're going to do. My uncle is always told me this. He says, you can either be part of the problem or be part of the solution.
I just want to be part of the viewing public who understands what the fuck he said.
Then go back on YouTube. There's many people have done.
Okay, so you're telling me that because I want to know what he said and I haven't looked it up that I'm part of the problem?
Well, you can't go back and redo the past, can you?
Motherfucker. No.
So what's the other option that you have?
I don't know.
It's not like he sat there and said, "Oh, I'm going to do this in sign language, and I'm going to do it in a language that's been lost for 33,000 generations." No, he did it in the language that he wrote the songs in. He did it in the language that he hit the charts with. He hit it in the language that he had all the kids in the club dancing and shaking their ass to. So, if you want to know what it is, the same way that you sit there and you do the research when something you say, what was that about? Oh, that's interesting. Or I like this car. Let me go look at the specs. Or what are the flaws on the recall? You do the research when something is beneficial to you. But when you feel like, oh, you have to, when America feels like it has to, oh, I gotta reach a little higher to get the fucking potato chips I want. How dare they? How dare you have the audacity? How dare you be so fucking condescending, dude? How dare America act like they're fucking better than somebody else that has to do the research just like everything else? If you were to do something, let's say, for instance, Spicy, let's say you cook something at a fucking barbecue, and I said, "Damn, Spicy, that's some good ass barbecue, man."
I'd say am
I gonna sit there and take this home and be like, you know what? I'm gonna put this fucking drumstick in my pocket. I'm gonna fucking dissect this, man. I'm gonna figure out what he did to this. Or I can go up and say, Spicy, hey man, what did you pull in that chicken, man? That was so good. I really want to know what you did to it, man.
And what if I tell you to go? Oh, you're right. I tell you to go bite grass, but I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Your point is well taken. I'm an old grumpy white guy, dude. I'm almost 50 years old, and I drink too much. I smoke too much. I smoke a lot of weed. I got great kids. The thing is that sometimes I just get stuck in that 1980s mentality where it's always going to be the Michael Jackson Pepsi halftime Super Bowl show with the 3D, you know, and nobody cares because the whole country's going to watch it.
So
So when this divisiveness comes up and like everybody starts arguing and getting pissed off about who the fucking Super Bowl halftime show is, I don't know. I don't know how to feel anymore. I feel stupid because I'm not in on it. I didn't know who he was until they announced he was the singer.
Yeah, but I mean, like I said, again, it's not music.
But it's not my music.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like
And
the
that's
same
cool.
way when your parents would go in there and turn that shit down.
Right.
You know, they didn't want to hear the fucking damn. They didn't want to hear Bob Seger.
That's what I listen to too. Billy Joel.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? They didn't want to hear that. They didn't want to hear the Boy George. Maybe they did.
My parents loved Boy George. Shut the fuck up.
Maybe they did. But no, no, but that's what I'm saying, man. It's always going to be somebody else's music. And like I said, the same way that you sit there and your kids say, "Oh, I got that Riz," you know, that's the T, you know, clock it. You're like, what the hell does that mean?
6, 7.
But when you say, what does that mean? What am I doing? You put the research in, you say, hey, what does that mean?
Oh, I looked everything up. I looked up Glizzy. I looked up Skibbity Toilet, and I wish I wouldn't have.
But you did that because you wanted to further understand. How hard is that for America to do? Like I said, I've even seen it. There's a white guy. I don't know his name. I'm sorry, but there's a guy out there. He even redid the whole songs in English.
Really?
Yes, he's in there. He did Bad Bunny songs, the ones he performed in English. You know what I'm saying?
I'll tell you why I didn't do it. Because I honestly didn't care enough to do it. It didn't matter that much to me. It wasn't that much of a deciding point in America. It wasn't that much of a, oh my God, if this guy fails or if something happens or whatever he says is going to break the fucking United States. I didn't care.
But see, that's the problem. That's what differentiates you from other Americans.
I just like the music, you know?
See, that's what most Americans fail to do, though, right there. They feel so strongly, they say they feel so strongly, but not strongly enough to do the research. And what does that say?
Most Americans are lazy, fat pieces of shit like me.
I'm not going to say that. But I was going to say that they don't really care. It doesn't really matter to them. This just goes back to what I was saying about America being angry, America being fed up. You know, these things don't matter to them. And they prove that because they don't do the research. When it's something that involves your kids, when it's something that involves your kids' schools, or maybe there was a change in your payment for your fucking retirement, you're gonna investigate that because why? Because it matters to you.
Right.
You're not gonna go on a Facebook post and say, "Oh, I hope they deport Bad Bunny." He's fucking Puerto Rican, and Puerto Rico's a part of the fucking United States.
So that's the other thing, right? Like you've heard me complain. Okay, I'm not really complaining, but I didn't understand it. Okay, bad on me for not knowing fucking Spanish, right? Cool. I don't want the guy fucking hurt.
It's not bad on you, dude. It's not bad on you for not knowing Spanish.
No, I know, but you know what I'm saying. It's just like overall, it's like I don't want him deported. I don't want him hurt. I don't want anything to happen to the guy. Let the guy be successful. You're right. And I think I'm right too. America is only happy when we're pissed. We have to have a villain. We always have to have it. We've been built on hating villains. At first, it was the English, right? The British are coming. Fight them back, the redcoats, right? Yeah. And then you grow up and you move on. Then it was the Mexicans once we got, and it was back in the Alamo days, right? We fought off Mexico with the Battle of Cortez, all that shit. Right, we hated the Mexicans. It was the Indians when the cavalries came in. We always had a villain. We live in such a time of, if you really look at the globe as a whole, and this is honest, Jacob, we've never been in a time of more stability. Like we have NATO, we have.
You were stable in the Great Depression.
We were, but you get then we went to World War II, but
inside the U.S. itself.
But I'm talking as a globe now with the internet and with how quickly we can, if I'm the president of Venezuela, or let's just name a country, and I want to call the prime minister of Australia, we're having a phone call that's in real time. I don't have to fly to your country. You don't have to fly here and have a state dinner. I'm in my office, you're in yours, right? Things are getting done faster than ever. And you can have group calls with many world leaders. I'm sure they do. We've never been more at peace. We've never been more open and communicative as a globe. But right now, if you look at all the world politics, and I watch a lot of it, dude, I watch everything. I read the BBC. I got Al Jazeera on my phone. I read them not because they're a Muslim paper, but because they're an objective news source.
And you
Whether
have
they're
to
right or
have it.
wrong, you still
And
read
you
it. And I
have
like
to-
to read shit. Dude, I take long shits.
Dude, what's the newspaper that they release all the bullshit, the fake UFOs and all that?
Oh, the Weekly World News.
I read that. Why?
I used to get it delivered to my house because I wanted to know what Bat Boy was up to this week.
But you gotta understand, dude. When you, as a person, and this is what a lot of Americans don't do, they get that one news source and that's all they do. That's all they read. That's all they feed themselves. Well, sometimes people are wrong, and you got to understand that. Sometimes your grandpa was wrong. Sometimes your dad was wrong, and you knew it. You knew it to the fucking bones of your fucking core, but you were never big enough to tell them. So you sat there and you accepted it, and that's what a lot of people do. They accept it even though they know it's wrong.
But here's my question, or here's my point: was that we live in the world of where everything is so now, right?
Yeah.
There's so many news sources available.
Yeah, you're right.
At a moment's notice, all the world leaders can talk. We have global organizations of leaders who get together. We've been more peaceful than ever. I see it everywhere, all over the news, except America. I mean, yeah, you got Iran and you got, the protests. So I'm not putting any down on Iran. Thousands of people died, the protesters. Sad. But everybody's focused on us right now because of that one fucking guy. That one fucking guy. The goddamn orange taco, right? Trump.
He's beautiful. He loves it.
I watched the Pam Bondi hearings and she said something. She said, Trump, somebody told her, Trump was implicated more than Harry Potter was in all 7 books. More than the name God or Jesus appears in the Bible is how many times Trump appeared in those files, right? And she goes, how dare you talk about the president like he's the best president in the history of America? Is they really think that?
And I'll tell you what, I've had talks with some of my friends at work, some of my coworkers. I use friends lightly, acquaintances. My thing is like, but anyways, and they sit there and say, oh, my dad or my mom, she'll never admit that. She'll never, even though she's wrong, she'll never admit it. It's like, she'll die on that hill. And I was just like, why? Because of pride? Because of
Is
ego?
it pride?
Is it stupidity? I don't know, dude. And they're dumbfounded. And just for clarification, they're white. They're Southern born. But
Dude,
again,
but I have Mexican friends who support Trump.
But exactly, because it's never been a race thing. It's never been a color thing. It's never been. That's what we created. We created that narrative. Hey, he's everybody's president. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it is.
Look, you said something right there. You just made a good point, right? They voted for him. Obviously, he represents America.
I'll never sit here and say he's not my president. Donald Trump is my president.
He's the president.
As long as I love this country and I'm proud to be, an American. I'm proud to have been, whatever you want to legalize, whatever you want to say. You know what I'm saying? Down the line, I'm proud. And Donald Trump is my president. You know what I'm saying? I have love for this country, and if I could have joined the military, I would have. But obviously, for certain reasons,
I was too much of a pussy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you couldn't get in because of the don't ask, don't tell, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Couple of videos out there of me. No.
I saw that, dude. I didn't know you could do that with your back.
Dude. No, but anyways, no. Seriously though, like I said, I do have love for this country. I've always been proud to be here. Like I said, it's never been about anything more than what is best for the people. What is best for me? What is best for my kids? What is making my life easier? You know what I'm saying? That's the way that we should move and we should operate as because we're all from the same thing. If you're not making the millions, if you're not upper class, we're all lower class, even the middle class. I'm sorry to say it, but you seem to put you paying taxes. We're all lower class. There's only 2 divisions, and that's upper and lower. That's it.
Hey, there's that rich man, poor man. So what is one thing that a very rich man and a very poor man have in common? Can you tell me, Jacob?
They all get buried in the same box, right?
Well, there's that, but I'm talking on the other side.
Oh,
they all have huge TVs now, right? Everybody's got a huge TV. And that just tells you everything you need to know about America. Whether you're rich or poor, you have a TV that's a flat screen, you have cable and internet, and you have a phone with internet to access the World Wide Web. We could be as poor as we want. We're still the richest country in the world. You got to respect that. And you know what? Donald Trump was president for 4 years before this, and our country didn't crumble into a nuclear wasteland like everybody thought it would. We're not living in bunkers and eating our cats.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe in Iowa, they're eating the cats and dogs, but
maybe
we're not doing that.
They're eating babies.
And I know this ICE thing sucks, and I've got to say the thing that I want to say on both ends of it is that you guys are doing it all fucking wrong. You don't walk down the street and you're like, you look brown, show me your papers. That's just the wrong way. That Greg Bondino with his fucking long coat looking, I'm just going to say it, dude. He looked like a Nazi fucking captain walking down the street with his SS soldiers behind him. And he fucking knew it. Well, now that he's gone, now they brought in a politician to do it instead of somebody else. And he's like, everything's going to get out of Minnesota. We're tired of this. We're sorry. You realize you fucked up. But it's still, you fucked up. And then nobody wants to say they fucked up. Why can nobody say in our government they fucked up? You know what? We should have trained our agents a little bit better. We didn't. It sucks. It's not, we've implemented new shit. We're going to move forward. We're not going to go into a school and grab some fucking 5-year-old kid like they did, And
I think that's
why you got to do that? Why do you have to do that?
I think you're absolutely right. I think we live in an age where, and for the longest time, men were sitting there and they would sit there and they would be like, oh, women don't like to take what? Accountability.
Oh, I thought you were going to say baths.
No. But again, that is all Americans. That is everyone.
Nobody wants to take accountability. We have big egos.
Nobody wants to get scolded, right?
No.
You know what I'm saying? Nobody wants to have that finger pointed at him and say, I told you so. Because why? Because it makes you, no matter how tall you are, it makes you feel about this big.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And it hurts even more when it comes from the people that you care about. You know what I'm saying? And even if you were a king or a ruler and you went out there and your whole, because the truth is what? You could do 100 things right, but the majority of people are going to pay attention to that one thing you did wrong.
I mean,
that's the fault on us as humans, because we have forgotten, and for the love that we claim to have, one nation under God, Christianity, we have forgotten to learn how to forgive one another.
Dude, there ain't no Christ in Christianity anymore. I don't give a shit. It's all about money. It doesn't matter. You preach hate in these churches. You saw the shit going on in the churches, and we talked about, how many times have we talked about the church on our show and how fucking corrupt they are, and how if you're, well, no, it doesn't have the best quality of life. Yeah, we have plenty of amenities, but that's the thing. The amenities make us think we're rich, and you know what? The illusion of rich is sometimes as good as being rich.
But at the sacrifice of what?
At the sacrifice of what? I don't know. We're getting distracted by the flashies to keep us from what? The Epsteins? Or to keep us from the government spending or the UFOs? Ooh, shit. UFOs? I don't know.
It's to keep us distracted from whatever it is that they don't want us to know.
What don't they want us to know? What do you think they don't want us to know?
I don't think, and I think, I'll tell you what, I don't believe that it's what they don't want us to know versus what it is they don't want us to become. And that is united. They don't want us to become the United States.
But if we're united, right, wouldn't we become a stronger nation?
But if we were united, we would become a stronger nation that was in the best interest of who?
Well, the people. But but you don't have a strong government without a strong people. The people can't pay taxes unless they're doing these high-end jobs that make high-end money.
But even back then, when they were converting for Christianity, it was just religion. It wasn't about politics. It was Christianity. They used what? Fear.
Look, dude, do you remember back? You're right. But remember back in the late 80s and early 90s, there was a big thing in schools where there were these science bowls. I went to private schools and we had a lot of higher education teachers, kind of like I'm talking PhDs, taught us 7th grade science. And we go to these science bowls, and the number one fear was, is the Russian team's going to be here this year? And we started talking about it in class. What made these Russian teams so great back then? And it was because the government threw money into the schools for educating people, not putting the fucking 10 commandments on the wall. You know, you're going to spend $100,000 putting 10 commandments in every school in the state of fucking Maine on the walls of every classroom, or you could invest that in like great textbooks and lab equipment and good teachers that are well paid that want to come in there and teach these young minds how to be great. And then guess what? You're not going to see it now, but you're planting the seeds that 30 years from now, you got these kids who are brilliant because you nurtured that and you paid for it. And that's what we were afraid of with the Russian kids, because those schools had all the money. I'm not saying communism was right, but it was right for the schools in there. As far as school equipment went, these kids had atom smashers in high school, like little molecular colliders. We never heard of anything. I had a Bunsen burner. I'm like, that's cool. He said burner. You know, I'm just saying, dude, you're like, let's put money here. What are we distracting from?
I
don't know what we're
agree.
distracting
I
from.
agree. I agree with you 100%. I don't believe that God was a place in school. I think that God, look at all the Christians out there, all the people that claim whatever God it is you claim, religion has no place in school. It has a place in your home. You know what I'm saying? That is something that you teach your children. You embed that, and if you can't afford the time to do that, blame your government, blame yourself. But it's not the school's fault.
No, it ain't.
You know, I tell you what, I used to date this girl one time, right? I dated this woman, and we got into an argument, and the reason we broke up is because and this is where we differentiated, she believed that the school was supposed to help discipline her child. You know, she was blaming the school because they didn't want to deal with her bad kid. So they were sending it. She said, well, they're not even trying to work with me. They're not even trying to help the child.
Well, see, that's bullshit. Their job's not to discipline your child.
Exactly. I was like, and that's what I said. I said, well, you know, he's kind of like, I don't want to be mean. I don't want to be rude. It's kind of your fault, though. You're supposed to send your kids to school. You know, when they go to get a job, you don't got to sit there and remind them, hey, don't punch nobody in the face. Don't pull nobody's hair. Don't steal nobody's crayons.
Right.
That's your job as a parent. You don't send your kids to school. Now, yeah, they're going to get in trouble because there's always kids there, you know what I'm saying? But this shouldn't be a behavioral issue.
So where did this come from? Because when I was in 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th grade, we're talking like, you know, the late 80s, from the mid 80s till the early 90s was my grade school time. I graduated from 8th grade in 91. Dude, we were still getting swats from our principal with the paddle in high school. My parents had to sign a paper saying it was okay. And, you know, I remember one time.
But that's where it started, though. That's where it started.
Well,
that's where the disease infected the minds of the Americans. Dude.
But hold on. But even before that, I was at my neighbor's house, right? And we're playing with the kid, and me and the neighbor kid put this cat in the box. We didn't seal it. We just like put it in a box, put a lid on it. We were playing pet store, and I was going to give him the box and be like, here's your cat, right? Well, the lady saw this and she freaked the fuck out. She didn't understand. And she swatted me 3 times on the ass and sat me in a corner. I was punished for the rest of the day. My dad came pick me up. She told him what happened. I got home. I got my ass beat again. But I never put a cat in a box again. Now, I'm not saying that's right to do because it sucked, but what is with this thing where there is no accountability for your kids? I went to a restaurant in Portland not too long ago, and there's kids running around the tables. All my dad had to do was turn to me if I did something wrong, give me a look, and I knew it was over. You know what I mean? Hey, do we need to go back to it?
See, I'll tell you what it was.
We're too soft, though.
So
there's no homework in my fucking kids' schools, dude.
Jesus Christ, dude. So let me tell you my opinion with this. You got to think it's all chain reaction. I believe in, you know, everything is the butterfly effect, if you want to call it. Everything happens, and then everything after that happens because of that. So let's say that and what it was is parents got used to the schools disciplining their kids. whenever I used to get paddled, you know, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, I acted better at school, but was it the school's place to begin that in the first place? Was it the school's job to sit there and take the role of responsibility that my parents weren't doing at home? You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying I didn't get my ass beat, because I used to get my ass beat at home. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, as a parent, if beating your kid's ass, and I say that lightly, I'm not talking about you don't need to choke your fucking kids. It ain't fucking Homer Simpson and Bart.
No, you're talking
You know
about
what
a
I'm
good
saying?
old
But
fashioned three swat spanking.
disciplining your child, and explaining to them why, the reasons why. You know, if that isn't working, then it's up to you to find out deeper meaning. You need to research your child. You need to dig deeper. And then maybe it's like me. Maybe it's because you're hard to talk to. My daughter tells me all the time, "You're hard to talk to, Dad," and I'm working on that.
Why are you hard to talk to?
Because
Now, hold on,
I'm one of those.
Before you answer that, my kids, if I don't really have to yell at I ask them to do something, they do it. And I've never been really
No,
hard.
it's never.
I've raised my voice, but I've never hit them. I've never. It's just we talk a lot,
but
and
it's
I'm
not,
always asking them to be open with the feelings, you know. So if I'm not hard to talk to, and I'm a piece of shit, you know me, dude. What is it that you because you're a good dude, you're a nicer guy than I am. What makes it that you're hard to talk to?
Well, see, I'll tell you this. It's not the fact that they don't listen to what I say. Because I could call my daughter right now and tell her whatever it is she needs to do, and she'll do it. She's a good kid.
Yeah.
But what it is I have frustrations at work or school, whatever. And when I get in those moods, I'm very irritable. You know what I'm saying? You know, I have one of those like, let's say she doesn't do good in school. You know, like my dad and them raised me to the point where it was like, fix it. You know, it wasn't, what do you need help with?
Right.
It wasn't, hey, are you struggling with this? Maybe I can help you. Fix it. You know, it was, oh, Dad, but no, I don't want to hear no excuses. And I inherited that. And that's what made it hard for them to talk to me, dude. Is that I don't want to hear any excuses. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to hear your side of the story.
Why, dude? Why you cut them off like that? They're little dudes. They're little people.
Again, dude, like I said, it's something that's chased me and haunted me since I was little.
You're sitting in your chair wearing your shirt. You can feel your shirt on your body, right?
Yeah.
So can she. She's another person. Like, you should at least let them. I'm not scolding you, of course not. But like that's one thing I've been with my kids, if anything, is like, dude, if there's a problem, I'd rather talk to you about it than yell about it, because if I yell, you're going to tune me out in 3 seconds. God knows I did every time my dad yelled.
And that's one of those
3 seconds in, the blinders went in. But if we're having a back and forth, you're thinking, your brain's moving, we're communicating.
And that's one of those things that, like I said, and it's not that it's not for the sake of, again, I try. I'm not the same as my parents were with me. I have a little bit of more leniency and stuff like that. You know, I'm a little more, but I'm one of those people. It's like, I'm going to ask you, hey, what's wrong? I'm going to ask you as nice as possible. And you say nothing. Okay? I know something's bothering you. I can tell. Just tell me what it is. Let's talk about it. Nothing's wrong. I'm either going to do one or two things. I'm going to either get angry because you're not telling me, so we can. That's the problem. Because I'm like, just tell me so we can fix it.
What about letting it go? What about, all right, cool.
But then again,
all right, then
you ever try to let something go with your wife?
Maybe not. Yeah.
But what's bothering you? Nothing. Okay. And you go about your way, and you feel that pain in the back of your head.
See what happens instead of fixating.
I do. But like I said, but then you get the whole, you don't care. You know what I'm saying? It's a lose-lose, and I'm just like, I don't like to play games. I don't like to waste time. Let's talk about it. Let's be, and this is my fault. Let's be adults. But I'm talking to my daughter. She's not an adult, and that's the one thing that I'm coming to understand more and more as a parent, is that I need to understand that I'm the one that's at fault. You know what I'm saying? I'm creating the harder to talk to dad. You know what I'm saying? I'm becoming what my parents did to me for my children.
Let me ask you a question. When you come home, Is there the whole dad's home?
I mean, I pick my kids up. You know what I'm saying? But
Okay.
but no, I'll tell you this. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, I don't ask for a lot. I want a clean house.
Mhm.
It doesn't have to be spotless. Don't get me misconstrued where I'm like, you gotta scrub these walls. I don't want
That's
no
me.
toys.
No, that's me.
I don't want toys in the living room floor. I don't want dishes in the sink. Because if I come home from work in 12 hours, I want a bowl of cereal. I don't want to clean a bowl.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't want to look for a spoon. You've been here all day. You know what I'm saying?
Well, no, don't give me too much shit for that because my sink's broken right now. So there's
no,
can't
but,
do dishes yesterday.
Hey, get you some styrofoam plates and bowls, baby.
No, I got. No, I'm just we're going
but
out.
You know, and like I said, I get irritable about this.
I know
when I come home and there's fucking mud all over the floor and there's fucking dirt all over the fucking living room.
But your daughter's 11. It's not her fucking fault, dude.
You're right, but she has
She's
chores.
11. Okay. Yeah.
Her chores are this: load the dishwasher, clean your room, sweep the living room. Okay? I'm not putting too much pressure on anybody. And occasionally I tell her, clean your bathroom.
Well, you got to clean your bathroom.
Clean the sink. You know what I'm saying? Like, clean the sink. Clean the toilet. These are things that she's going to have to do when she gets old enough and has her own house. You know what I'm saying? I don't ask her to do stuff for me. Like, the most I'm like, give me the remote. Can you get me another water? Can you grab me a water out the fridge? You know, this is just kind of small things.
Right.
But in no way am I asking my kid to go out there and cut the grass and rake the leaves. You know what I'm saying? Dude, the chores I give her are the things, but again, like I said, you have to understand the kids nowadays, they don't want to do anything. You know what I'm saying? Because I've given my daughter everything since she was little. Anything she's ever wanted. Dad, can I have? Even when I go in, even when I go to the store and I'm like, you're not gonna get anything. Don't ask. And she picks something up. She's like, oh, I was just looking, Dad. I was just looking at it. Go ahead, put it in the cart. Hurry up, put it in the cart before I change my mind. You know,
there's that with me. They will ask her for many more things when we go out than they would for me. If I take the kids to the store, it's like we're getting what we're getting. That's about it. Sometimes every once in a while, say, hey, Dad, look at this. Yeah, that's neat. Let's go. Yeah. They come home with something new with her, you know, all the time. And I'm not saying it's bad,
but sometimes they do that.
And I'm not. And look, I've come to realize over time that you need that. They need that.
Yeah.
You know, they need the treats from her, and they need some discipline.
I'll tell you why I spoil my daughters, man. I'll tell you why I spoil my kids, because I don't. And I heard this once, and I believe it firmly. I don't want my daughter to ever be impressed by what a man can give her that her dad can't.
True that.
You know what I'm saying? I don't need my daughter to be impressed by your son. You know what I'm saying? Because he bought her flowers and some chocolates on Valentine's Day, and now she's head over heels in love.
No, but I do want to find a better man than me.
But you know what I'm saying? Daddy bought me that. Daddy can buy me that. You know what I'm saying? My dad gives me. You know what I'm saying? What can you offer my daughter that I, as her father, can't give her?
What's the answer? What would the young man say to you that would make you say, holy shit, you're the dude? Come on in.
Stability. You know what I'm saying? Stability. Financial stability.
Okay, whoa. Now, hold on.
This, but
hold on.
It's more,
we're talking 15-year-old date, not
25-year-old
date.
15-year-old
date. What do you got for my kid?
Oh, okay. So if there's a 50,
I'm talking kids, not.
I'm talking marriage. You know what I'm saying? Like,
okay, yeah, I know what you mean.
You know, but I mean, if they're kids, dude, you gotta understand one thing. I'm very understanding. I went through my phases. You know what I'm saying? You know, of dating and stuff like that. I understand. But again, what I look for is respect. You know, you're not gonna come in and be like, "Oh, Dad, I'm leaving. I'll see you. I'm going on a date with so and so." I'm like, "Who the fuck is so and so?" First of all, you're not man enough to meet me. I won't say man enough. Let me rephrase that. If you're not respectable enough to meet me, you have no place for my daughter.
Do you think that your daughter would do that to you? Would be like, I'm going out with Johnny Q, whatever.
No. Is she more likely to tell, Vampire more than she is me? Probably so. You know what I'm saying? But again, that's what I'm trying to rebuild that. I'm currently trying to rebuild that with my daughter, where she understands, she feels comfortable telling me these things. Now will she ever, or do I ever really want to hear everything? No, I'm a dad. I don't want to hear everything that goes on with my
I agree.
daughter.
There's certain shit we don't want to hear.
You know what I'm saying? But like I said, I want to know if you get interested, when she gets interested in somebody and they start dating, like, Dad, hey, there's somebody I want you to meet. Cool, let's bring him out. Let's go to Olive Garden. Let's go to Steakhouse. Let's go to Texas Roadhouse. You know what I'm saying? Let's go meet it up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because that, in the end of the day, that's somebody's son. And if I had a son, I'd do the same thing. I want somebody to treat my son with the same respect.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And do I sit there and burden a kid for the way he was raised? No. If that kid comes in and he's like, yo, what up, Pop? That's an education lesson for me. Hey, how you doing? Let me shake your hand.
All right. So tell me if I was on the right track. Last year, one of my twins had a little girlfriend in 7th grade, right? Or 6th grade. And it was nothing, holding hands, whatever, what they do. He was like, I'm going to go buy her a little stuffed teddy bear for Valentine's Day. I'm like, you fucking go for it, dude. I'm like, yeah, go for it. Because I knew it was innocent shit, right? He bought her this thing. He gave it to her for Valentine's. She carried it all around school the whole day. She was the envy of the schoolyard. David was a champion. Had a boy. Well, a couple days later, I'm like, so how's things going with you and your little girl? And he's like, her mom said that we couldn't be together. She's too young to date. How do you feel about that?
You can't force somebody else's kid. You can't force somebody else's kid, man. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm not saying that you force another kid, but I mean, they weren't going out. They weren't going to places together. It was just a schoolyard thing,
I'll tell you this. Does it come?
But does it hinder that girl? Because we all had those things growing up, but it was part of our childhood.
Let me tell you this though. This is where it comes as the learning curve for not just your son, but you as a parent and what you're teaching your son. Now, what
am I teaching my son?
No. Let me say. I'm going to ask you. So now, this is the conundrum you find yourself in. Are you teaching your son to respect somebody else's daughter, to respect their wishes for their daughter, or are you teaching your son to go against that and say, you know what, it doesn't matter what her mom thinks, you go after that girl?
Can you put a hold on love? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
You know what I'm saying?
I know what you mean. I know exactly what you're saying. You're absolutely right. And the funny thing was. It's not even the funny thing. It's just the thing was that never even came across my mind. That thought, that point of view.
And a lot of it doesn't, because again, you're focused on your son. You're focused on your kid.
But I don't want him to get his feelings hurt,
But again, like I said, like I said, we have to continuously. Like I said, this just goes back to what I was saying earlier about Americans and how we are very in our ways, very to ourselves. We're not thinking about other people. We think about ourselves and ourselves alone. We've created our own separation. But again, like I said, going back to that, dude, you have to understand that you as a parent, you as a person have to respect other people's boundaries. The same way that you demand respect for, like, if you said, hey, every Friday I have a beer. You know what I'm saying? That's what I do. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll give you a better example. My mother, who's very into Christianity, she doesn't like to come down for our parties for Christmas and stuff because we drink. Does that mean I'm going to stop? Does that mean I'm going to stop having my beer on Christmas? Am I getting fucked up and tore up from the floor up? No, I don't do that anymore. That was me when I was in my 20s.
But if you're not getting tore up from the floor up,
she doesn't want to be around.
Couldn't you put it on kibosh just for a while to have your mom with you?
Again, that's my choice. My choice is, you know what I'm saying? My thing is this,
you only got your mom for a little bit longer.
You're right, and I can go see my mother. You know what I'm saying? But if I am I hosting the family here, right? And I'm going to tell the whole family no alcohol? You know what I'm saying? It's different. Now, if my mom wants to come down and she says, hey, I'm going to come down before Christmas, you know what I'm saying? Because she knows I'm hosting. She knows I host every year, and that's just what we do. She's more than welcome to come down. We don't have any alcohol, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to sit there and change myself and lie and hide myself. But again, I'm not getting fucked up. I'm not getting buzzed. I have maybe at most days now, I think in a week, I have maybe 1 to 2 beers, dude.
I know you, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't drink to get fucked. I drink this so I can sing karaoke comfortably in my living room.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And again, like I said, the same way that I tell my mom, I say, look, I respect what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? If you want to come down a different day, this is what we're going to be doing this day. But just know there's going to be alcohol.
In your fucking living room is just a visual.
Hey, man, it's a good feeling.
I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be funny. I know we're talking serious shit, but
it's a good feeling.
And this flash of you with no shirt on, just sweet Caroline.
Yeah, Neon Moon, Brooks and Dunn.
Oh, shit.
For everybody out there, yo, every Mexican family out there sings country music when they're drunk. I'm gonna tell you guys
Do
right
they
now.
really?
Yeah, dude. My family in general, dude. When we go out there and drinking, man, and of course we're gonna have our we're gonna have our fucking Ramona Ayala. We're gonna have our stuff out there, but we're gonna have Brooks and Dunn.
No. You're
We're
what?
Ramona Ayala. You know what I'm saying?
Is that cartel music?
Yeah, well, no, his was more like
I'm just
more
saying.
like
Listen, dude. I was playing GTA
there
5
there
the
is
other
some
day.
cartel music, but not from him though.
No. I was playing GTA 5 and I was listening to the Mexican station, and one of those songs was all about like El Narcos, El Carteles. And I'm like,
Yeah.
this is cartel music.
Yeah, it's cartel
Like
music.
that's fucking.
But for the people that don't understand, cartel music is the same as what you would consider westerns. You know what I'm saying? Western, like old outlaw.
See, I thought it'd be
music.
more like gangster rap. Like I shot that
But-
guy on Hollis
But
Street.
see, I was giving more for the Caucasian of it. You know what I'm saying? The white side of it. If it was, it would be gangster rap. You know what I'm saying? That's the equivalent of what it is. It's where you're, and it's not just like, it's anything that tells a story. Most of these times, these narcos, they're either telling stories of old outlaws and stuff like that. El Chapo and stuff like that, glorifying their things. It's just outlaw music. It's what it is.
Do they do it to gain favor with the cartels, or do the cartels pay for this music?
So some of them do, some of these cartel members, but the thing is, what people don't realize is this very dangerous game when you get into making cartel music. Once you pick a side, you pick a side. There is no going back. You don't sing one song about Pablo Escobar and then go over and sing one about El Mencho or fucking, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
You don't switch sides. That get you killed.
Who was the dude you keep telling me about? The one that received that note during the show and then got killed?
Oh,
Like don't sing about the cartels, and then he kept singing, and like he disappeared. They with the big hat.
You're talking about Chalino.
Chalino, yeah. You got me into
so
that, dude. I was listening to some of his music. I'm like, this is pretty cool.
Yeah, so like that thing, you be looking up Chalino. You know what I'm saying? That he got a note. They said if you can sing this next song, which was a song, of another glorifying another a different leader, a different set.
So he was glorifying a different cartel. I thought he was against all the cartels.
Well, he was just kind of like, yeah, fuck everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was just doing his music. And they were trying to keep a lid on him, basically saying, like, shut up. You know what I'm saying? You're getting too big for your britches. And he played the fucking song, and then as he was leaving that club, these couple men dressed as officers, put him in the back of the damn thing, covered his head up, you know what I'm saying? Shot him and laid him in the ditch. But yeah, man, like I said, it's one of those things that you see. There's many groups out there, Mexican groups, that have died just for singing to the wrong side. They go and they start playing in these places, and if you actually look into it, I hate to get off topic, but if you look into these Mexican singers, like even Peso Pluma, stuff like these, some of these younger kids, they get threats all the time, and they say, you better not come down here, you better not play your music over here. It'll be the last show you ever do.
Really?
Yeah.
Over music though.
It's again, would you, if that was your whole
all I'm saying, listen, okay, NWA got arrested for their music, but they weren't going to get shot.
When we're playing characters in GTA, we're two mafia guys. That'd be the equivalent of us saying, yeah, you guys can come over here and you sell drugs on our turf, blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to care.
No, yeah, of course I won't care. You know why?
You have,
because I'm going to tax you.
But
you come over here, but you're going to pay me.
Well, see, they don't
get free money. You know what I'm saying? Not doing any work.
But what if they were singing songs about how somebody else is better than you?
Oh, well, then you're dead meat in the street.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like, you gotta be careful. choose your battles wisely.
I feel you. I know. I'm so when I talk like this, dude, it's me like it's not me being against what you're saying. It's me being against what you're saying because I'm trying to understand. Do you know what I mean?
That's fine.
I bring up the opposing question, but it's never been out of anger that I asked the question or anything like that. And I think that's the thing that we're falling back on for every topic we've talked about tonight, because we've been in the last hour and 20 all over the place. And for the guys that have been stuck around and watched us do the show the whole time, thank you guys for being here.
Many claps for you guys.
Many claps. As I watch the Super Bowl conversation, or I watch the Pam Bondi hearing yesterday, or I watched something where there were some people in a different country talking about UFOs. Nobody's talking. They're all yelling. They're all arguing. They're all pissed. When can we take the tone down and just chill the fuck out, dude?
And that starts.
You know what I mean?
I'll tell you. That starts with you. You know what I'm saying? That starts with everybody
Me?
out there. You know, you too. You know, me, you, everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like I told you, the only people out there that are creating segregation, separation, it's not the media, it's not the government, it's you. And until you do better, until you can have a civilized conversation with somebody else, because whose belief is different. And that's one of the reasons why earlier in the show I read that Facebook post and I read my response. There was nothing yelling about what I said. There was no way I was attacking that other person, what they believed in. I simply stated what I said in a way that expressed how I felt. You know what I'm saying? It was in judgmental. I didn't go on there and say, you're wrong. You are a racist. I didn't say any of that. Because again, when we as a people can come together and have these civil conversations with a neighbor, the same way that you and I disagree, but at the end of the day, you're one of my best friends, dude.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same way that we need to be with a random neighbor that we have on the side of the street. Just because they come up the road blasting Kid Rock, it doesn't bother me none.
No, dude, I'll be right with the ball with the ball, the bang, the bang.
Who am I?
I don't give a shit. That's the other thing, dude. Why do we have to be? I know we got to wrap up. We're getting way too late in here. Why do we got to be divisive about music? It's the one language the whole universe understands.
It's again, dude. It's nobody is divided unless you decide that. You know what I'm saying? Again, like I said, Chris Rock's rendition of of Cody Johnson's song, man. You know what I'm saying? I have it in my phone. I have it. Till you can't. I have it in my phone. I've listened to it. He did a great fucking job. I love it. You know what I'm saying? He added the part at the end where we need to start picking up our Bibles, more, dusting it off, and reading it till you can't, And I agree with that wholeheartedly.
I don't.
Well, I mean, besides Bad Bunny, he was up there. He sang about unification. Uniting everybody, becoming one. I agree with that wholeheartedly. You know what I'm saying?
I don't.
I'm just kidding. Two people giving two different messages, but the end goal is the same. The end goal was the same for both. They both want peace. They want a better America.
No, they don't, dude. No.
Yes, that's what they want. Personally, I don't know. I'm not Bad Bunny. I'm not a Kid Rock. But what
if you're at the other fucking Super Bowl, you don't want fucking peace. You're there because you oppose and you know what that's for, and you're there for that.
But I'm saying the message. The message. I'm not saying
what I hate fucking everybody who's not like me.
No, it's not.
Yes.
What message?
How am I defending the fucking Democrats?
What message was that? What message? When did that happen?
The fact that they had to have another one.
But see, this is what I'm saying. I'm talking about the message that was given with Kid Rock. I'm not talking about the message of the whole Super Bowl entirety. I'm talking about the two artists and what they did for each show.
The fact that there was even a second show at all. And anybody who signed up for it knows that it was a second show in opposition of a dude who was Hispanic or Puerto Rican, right? You got a Puerto Rican guy. He's doing a show. We don't like it. Fuck you guys. Fuck Puerto Ricans. Fuck everybody who's different. We're going to do a white person show over here. And that's what they did. And if you support any of that, and if you watched any of that and thought that this is what America needed right now, you can go fuck yourself, in my opinion.
I agree with you right there. You know what I'm saying? I agree that
so there is no other message, like you said. There's no second message to be had. The second message is if you were part of the second fucking halftime show that wasn't the NFL halftime show, then you said fuck everybody who's not like me, and I'll be your friend. I'll buy you a beer. I'll sit down and have dinner with you, but I think you're a piece of shit. That's all there is to it. Sorry.
I can understand that you're looking at the entirety of the situation. Where I was looking at, I was looking at the artists themselves, what they were saying, each in their own way.
Right, and each one in their own way was saying we think that what we're doing is right, and I'm cool with that. Just like the Christians, we think what Christianity is cool. We think the Catholicism is cool. We think the Mormons are right. Guys, guess what? Awesome. I don't think so, but go do your thing. Just don't get on a fucking platform and say that everybody else is fucking wrong. Do your thing. Go to your church. Go pray. Go have a great time. worship, roll on the ground, fucking kiss snakes, whatever the fuck you guys are doing in your churches. I don't give a shit. Have a great time. But when you start going on social media and hating other people for the other shit they're doing, right? Or changing shit, or having to have another halftime show because you don't like what the NFL decided to put up there. Besides, half the guys that bitched about this are donors or team owners or friends of team owners of the NFL. So what the fuck are you doing anyway? It's just, it gets so old to me, dude. Like we talked about at the very beginning of the show, everybody's got to fight. Everybody's got to be angry. And here's proof. I've been calm this whole fucking show, and now I'm pissed. Maybe we should call it here before I start really going off, and let's save some for next week.
Always
Jesus
love
Christ.
it. Always love it, dude. Tell us how you really feel.
Telling you, man. I'm just saying.
That's what they want to hear, though. That's what they want to hear, you know. And like I said, when you look at the entirety, you're absolutely right. Should there ever have been in a second Super Bowl? No. Now, if there wanted to be a second show that happened to be at halftime, go ahead. But when you, like I told you, when you purposely framed it as a protest, that's when it became racist. You know what I'm saying? And you're right. You're right. There should have never been one. You're absolutely right. There should have never been a message that was said by Kid Rock. It kind of, like you said, it defeats the purpose of what Kid Rock said. You know, how can you preach Christianity? How can you preach love and open in the Bible? But the whole point of the show that you had was because you didn't like the Mexican, the Latino, the Puerto Rican, the South, whatever you want to call him. You know what I'm saying? Everybody thinks because he's brown, he's Mexican. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, and you're absolutely right. You are absolutely 110% right. And I tip my hat to you for saying that.
When have I not said, well, now from now on, I ain't going to stop. Why all Spanish? Isn't that saying fuck English speakers? So we talked about this a little bit earlier. No, it's not. It's him. Look, I agree with Jacob on this one. It took Jacob to say what he said for me to process it. And we'll address it one more time before we go, because I'm really hungry and we're going to go have some Mexican food right now. I need some mole in my system. Listen, it was in Spanish because his albums are in Spanish. He became the #1 artist in the world because he sings in Spanish. So he's going to come to the halftime show and he's going to do what he does. He's going to sing in fucking Spanish. If the Spanish ain't cool for you, then like me, maybe like I said this earlier, maybe they should have had some subtitles, but you can't subtitle in real time. And Jacob called me on. He's like, maybe if you would go back and watch it again and maybe turn on the subtitles with translations later and see what he said, you'd be happy. Yeah, I would. But guess what? During that whole show, I couldn't understand it. But guess what I was doing? Guess what I was doing, motherfuckers? Nodding along, having a good time, bobbing, tapping my toes. You know, fuck it.
You know, and it's a thing, though. You know, there's so many songs that we listen to that we don't understand. Live in the Vida Loca.
Like you said, Italian opera. I fucking love Italian.
How many times have you heard La Bamba? Didn't know what it meant, but it was rock and roll.
Right?
People were jamming.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like Selena, you know, Como la Flor, you know, stuff like that. You know, it was, and again, this is the thing that people don't understand. It's not the part that you hate, the part that upsets you is not because it was in Spanish. It's because the narrative was pushed on you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It doesn't bother you that it was in Spanish. That's not the point. That's not it.
No, it bothers you that it was somebody who didn't look like you and you're perfect Make America Great Again. That was the problem. That's all.
And no, and that's not even that, dude. I told you earlier, it's not the fact. It's the fact that we, as a whole, as the United States as a whole, we have so much pent-up aggression. We have so much aggravation. We have so much anger towards the way that we are living, towards the prices on rent, towards how much our fucking electric bill has spiked, and it continues to increase. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing in this world that we are happy about that is going on that's making our lives easier, and we don't know where to direct our anger.
What is there in the news that we're fucking happy about? Is there anything that we see in the news where we're like, fuck yeah? There's not really ever. Remember when the news back in the fucking 90s, like when you watch like the 11 o'clock news, they'd be like, and now as we wind up our evening before we go, you know, to the late show, here's some puppies. Here's a crow eating a pickle. You know what I mean? Something to just, we don't do that anymore.
But there you go. That's what I'm telling you. That's what I said. Everything is being control. The narrative is being controlled. You know, that's one thing I agree wholeheartedly. If I put you in a room, dude, and surrounded you with a bunch of videos that were just negative, are you gonna come out that room a happy man?
Oh,
I just
hell
made
no.
you watch hours and hours of negativity, bro. You're gonna come out there, you're gonna be upset. But that's what happens. That's what the media is doing. It's never been about black, white, black, brown versus who to who to who. No. Division is only created by ourselves. We create the division. We create the problems. If I can go outside and wave at my neighbor and say, hey, hope you have a great day. Hope your wife and your family is doing great. And I mean that wholeheartedly. I'm okay.
No, my
Them,
neighbors hate me because they know I'm a fucking Democrat.
well, you
True
know, again,
facts.
again, that's a them problem. You know, that's where they need to figure it out and fix it. But doesn't mean you become a
Anyway,
smug towards them. Say, hey,
no.
how you doing? Have a great day.
The power went out a couple months ago. I took some candles over to the old lady. Just like, hey, I don't know if you're set up. We have a ton of fucking candles here. My wife like loves them. Here's a couple. I'm fine. Thank you. And then close the door. But with the snark, and I'm like, you know what? Cool. My candles aren't good enough for you. Have a great night. You can sit in the dark.
And that's it. That's all you can do.
That's all I could do.
That's
But
it.
I tried.
You're right. And on that, guys, that's all we can do is try to be better, try to understand. If something bothers you, reach out and talk to somebody. Don't just form your own opinions on stuff, okay? Don't be that person. If you don't understand something, I'll guarantee you 110% there's somebody out there that has the patience and is willing to explain it to you. All right? Do your research, guys. Don't just comment on posts and just from anger and frustration. Don't do that. Don't discipline your kids on frustration and anger.
No.
You know, take the time to understand.
I'm trying.
You know? And as always, like I said, guys, look forward to rebranding coming soon, guys. You know, we hope we continue to have you guys' support. You know, and as always, I'm Phat.
I'm Spicy.
And this is the Phat and Spicy Show. You guys have a great one. But yeah, dude, like I said, man, go get
Sorry I
that
got
fucking
pissed,
mole.
dude.
Send me a picture of that fucking Mexican food.
I'll send you a picture of the mole, dude.